is a Cruiser cable steering setup, a lot like what they used on their outboards. This one, I believe, sat with water in the back. And although this is stainless steel, and really I didn't polish this up much, that's just how she came apart after she was seized beyond measure. And this is anodized aluminum. That's seen better days, but this is what it took. I had to use a torch to expand it and heat it up and then beat it apart. So I was afraid I was going to ruin this, and it doesn't look very healthy. Thankfully, the threads on the end of this little apparatus are still good, and we can put our seal in, which will keep the grease in and the sand out. Because when I finally got it apart, it looked like it was full of sand. The inside of the anodized tube, if we're able to see any of that, polishes up real nice and clean. There's a few little spots where I had some corrosion, and I'm worried about that corroding again. So I wanted to make something that threaded onto here, had a 5/8 seal like so, that I could grease and put grease on this end instead of this end as Cruiser has it. And this faces, when it's installed in the boat, backwards, so there's really nobody had greased it. It's a 1985 model boat. I'm sure it's never been done. It's pretty dry. So I just happened to have the idea of maybe I should look and see if somebody else has had this problem. And I found this. It's got a little O-ring, got a zert. The O-ring fits nice. Keeps water, sand, and debris out. Lets me put grease into the front half here, and I can grease in from the back half, so nobody has to beat this thing apart. The problem with this thing is I got it good and hot, and I'm hanging on to it here, trying to beat this thing apart. So it's swinging and moving, and I am better than that with a hammer. It's just really hard to hang on to while everything's smoking hot. And what it is the aluminum expands more than the stainless steel does, so it loosened up a little bit, and it let me get it apart like that. It wasn't easy. Even heated, it still took a lot of effort to get it apart. So the fact that Mercury doesn't put this on originally, I do not understand, but this is definitely what the doctor ordered. This would be really cool. Didn't have to make it. I don't remember what we paid for it. If it was less than $50, it's a deal. Not having to make it. Well, I expect this. The issue with changing this, if we can go down through here, is the cable goes under the vacuum flush system. Cable here that I'm moving.
Yep.
Goes under the vacuum flush system, up into the side of the boat here, and then into the helm. And the other side has the gear rack. So the biggest thing I didn't want to do is have to change it and not be in the water for the next 3 or 4 days while we do something like that. So this is a whole lot easier. If it had this originally, this had never been a problem, I don't believe. So thank God they make this. I'm going to start selling them myself and making them. You know what this thing needs? 5/8, .625, threaded. It just needs a seal on the end. And as usual, I'm a little too little, a little too late. The cable, the sand and debris and water had gotten into the cable, and the cable's extremely stiff.
Yeah.
So it was rusted solid here. And that was partly due to lack of lubrication. You put the grease in, moisture and stuff can't go in it because the grease is already there. There's no void area. We had lots of void area, and we got the cable busted loose. But this, being aluminum, all your rust type penetrating oils, the rust attacking penetrating oils don't work on this guy. It's aluminum. When I finally got it apart, it had crystalline structure, much like sand or something in it. And I'm sure it wasn't sand. I'm sure it was something come out of the aluminum. anodized aluminum corroding. So to get it off, I had to expand it by getting it hot. And I have somebody ready to put the fire out in case you happen to catch it on fire.
Yes.
They really beat this thing up. And it looks like I have no idea what to do with a hammer. But you're trying to hold this cable and bang on it, and then bang it down and bang it back and forth. It's indexable. This one's kind of a pain in the butt, the way the cable lays. I got to twist the cable around all the way through and all. When we bolt this thing together, it slides well. That's the seal dragging. Without making this any bigger, it was stuck like Chuck, would not come out. It's actually fairly tight. I would guess that's probably 3/4 5 thousandths clearance. But when you put this guy on, this applies grease from the front, which is where all the water and grit and dirt and sand would be. And then this guy goes on. This lubricates the cable end of it and from the back side. And once it's full of grease, even if it had a small leak underwater, if it's full of grease, there's no place for the water to enter. It's filled. It can't really come in. So we get a few more years out of it and not have to pull all that stuff out trying to change the cable. Regular shaft seal, this will be bigger. But this will work on outboards, all types of other. This is a Mercruiser steering system, so it works on outboards, IOs, and this is what we call a V-drive. Anyway, way cool. Grease it, seal it, and not go through this again.